All right. So, Miss Denton evidently needs videos for the talent show. So, I'm going to make one of a little bit of leather carving. So, this may not really be so much of a talent as a new thing Mr. Woods has started doing lately. So you guys actually might see me mess up. So first thing I'm going to do is case my leather. And I cased this earlier and I think I let it dry out a little bit too much. So I'm going to case it a little bit more again. And casing is just a fancy term for wetting your leather to get the surface of it wet to take a pattern. And if we had got to do our vambrace making workshop that I was going to do through Shiv Club, we would have done some of this together. Maybe we can do that next year. So, I don't know. I'll send this in to Miss Denton. She might want to speed this up because this is going to take a minute to dry out. We're going to have to sit here for a second while this dries out. And while that does that, second thing we're going to need to do is put a little bit of this here 0.5 micron 5 gram diamond polished lapping paste compound onto our stroping block. Now when you guys make your stroping block, you want to make sure that instead of just nailing your stroke down like I did, you want to also glue your leather to the block. I got all excited and I forgot to glue my leather down, and that's an important step. You also want to take a piece of sandpaper. You see how I roughed up the edge of my leather there? That's gonna give it, hey buddy, hey, you gonna help? Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm stropping my blade so that I got a nice sharp edge on what's called my swivel knife. Now this is a special tool that I'm going to use. And I don't know why they don't design pencils like this, or pens. Because, like, if I had a pen, don't drink my casing water, Jack. I'm going to put that down here because he's going to spill that. Alright, so let's put all this away so Jack doesn't get into it. And that's looking like my leather is about ready. Still a little bit dark right there, but by the time I get all this put away and Jack off the table, I should be about ready to start transferring our pattern. So, I use transparencies, which is probably not, hey, you guys recognize this guy? That's you, bud. So what this is eventually going to be is I'm going to take this panel and I'm going to sew this to a shoulder piece, and then I'm going to take that shoulder piece. Can I help you, sir? And I'm going to dip it into a vat of molten wax, and it's going to permeate the surface of this leather and turn that leather just hard as a rock. Basically, it's going to turn the leather into horn almost. I have an example over there on the other side of the workbench I can show you. Now, you can see my stylus here is kind of pulling the laser jet toner off of the transparency, but that's okay because my stylus here is putting enough pressure down into the leather that it's going to leave that impression. You can see here on the tail, I'm going to have to improvise this curve here for his tail. So, I hope I didn't move it too much. No, I can stay in that groove right there. Jack, you are making this difficult for me to get your portrait here on my shoulder armor. And if it's messed up, it's going to be on you, buddy. But that's okay. If it's messed up in the transfer process here, we can maybe fix that in the swivel knife process. And if we can't fix it in that process, that's okay, because I know the guy who's going to be wearing this, and he's okay if it's messed up a little bit, because he's going to take it and he's going to be shouldering into other guys' shields. He's going to be busting into shield walls and taking big hits from pole arms and great swords. So eventually these are going to get messed up anyway, and we'll have to remake them. So that's how I feel about combat art anyway. You paint a helmet a goofy color because eventually you'll have to repaint it anyway. So that's why that helmet right there is all sparkly, because eventually I'm going to take it into battle and it's going to get all knocked around and beat around, and that's going to be alright. I'm sure if my buddy Tom sees me scratching these lines in, he's just going to cringe. Still going to share this video to my Arts and Sciences page. Hey man, I'm trying to do a little work here. Thank you. Oh, I hope I'm not running out of time. Last time, my leather was too wet, evidently. I'm not using the right kind of paper. I'm supposed to get some kind of tracing film, but I'm running out of fun money, and I don't want my wife to get mad at me. You know what they say, happy wife, happy life. That's very true. So I think I've hit my monthly leather working supply budget, so I need to be creative. What are we at? 10:24, 10 minutes? We might need to make this a video series and send this to Miss Denton. Early. Let's get his little footy in here. Let's work quick, Mr. Woods, work quick. Okay, I think this is the final line. I think we got them all. If we didn't, we'll know as soon as I lift this paper up, or this plastic film. I think that's the one. Do-do-do. Alright. I'm gonna send this video to Miss Denton, and I'll be back with a swivel knife shortly.